Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here on, somewhat of a somber Friday evening for those of us in the horror YouTube community. I don't know if you guys saw my post, or maybe you saw, Ken from Sledgehammer Horror or Brett Man from Good Real Hunting. I know Frank's Media and Reviews, he was sharing it. I've even seen some of you, just on the chat side of everything, the audience side of the community, sharing just our thoughts and, sharing the news of, unfortunately losing one of the great members of our community and somebody who was, a really early subscriber over here at the Davey Deathray channel, probably within the first 300 to 400 subs. Somebody that was, as soon as I started going live regularly, was there every single time. Our buddy Raymond Malaber unfortunately passed, I believe it was yesterday morning. His cousin Shelly Priest shared it on the Good Real Hunting Facebook group, and she was sort of keeping everyone up to date within the community. And it's been really tough, obviously. I can only imagine how tough it is for their family, right? But I can tell that it's been really tough for everyone, here and everyone in the horror YouTube community. It's been really awesome to see what everyone's been saying about Raymond. Everyone is pretty much saying the same thing, that he was always funny and sweet and welcoming to new people. And that's one of the biggest things I've heard and seen people say about Raymond. And, he was battling some health issues as of late, and unfortunately, wasn't able to recover and ended up passing away at the relatively young age of just 56. So, we're going to do everything we can to, lighten stuff up later and have a discussion. I'm going to talk about the movies from my childhood that I just couldn't stop watching. I'm going to be covering kind of 80s and 90s. That's when I was a kid, but maybe there's some of you in the audience that were 70s, 80s kids, or 90s aughts or aughts teens, because we have a really amazing array of people in our audience. But I do want to take the beginning of this live stream to, honor Raymond, give him a little bit of a tribute, and just sort of reflect on losing one of our own. This, not to make this about me or anything, but when I started a YouTube channel, this was something that never even crossed my mind. You just think about all the other stuff that you're going to do in your YouTube channel and all the good, exciting things. Not that you're going to be let into somebody's life and then, unexpectedly they would end up being gone. So, gonna do everything I can to keep it together here. I think with you guys, because y'all are so supportive and awesome, I think, we can mourn and we can, push on. I know it's probably corny and cliche to say, but I think that Raymond would want us to still, find some sort of fun in the topic of discussion tonight. Talking about the movies that we obsessively watched as children, whether or not they're classics still, or have aged like fine wine, or maybe they're guilty pleasures, or maybe they're embarrassingly bad when you look back on them. But, we'll get there. I do just want to say, obviously you can tell right here, usually I've got a little Venmo link. We're going to dedicate these 2 streams this weekend. Tomorrow I'm going to go live at 5 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do a Davey Science Theater 3000 episode of Jason Takes Manhattan, or Jason Takes a Cruise, or Jason Takes a Boat, whatever you prefer, whatever preferred nomenclature you have. I'm going to dedicate this stream and that stream to Raymond's memory. Also, Ken from Sledgehammer Horror is putting together a panel stream where we will simulcast on multiple channels and raise money for Raymond's family. So I'm really hoping to be able to take part in that. We're just trying to figure out the scheduling. So that's also coming up. But right there's a QR code for the GoFundMe that his cousin Shelly Priest has started. She got everyone up to date and everything on the Good Real Hunting Facebook page and let us know what was going on. And if you saw my post on the YouTube on the community tab on the channel, I shared, what she had posted there on Good Real Hunting's Facebook page. Also, if the QR code's not working for you for whatever reason, or you don't know how those work, because I didn't know how they worked for a really long time, there is a link in the description below. I do just want to take some time here to, to show off the GoFundMe here. So there's our guy Raymond. They've got a goal of just $200 here. I'm going to reload it to see where we are. Wow. And they bumped up the goal to 300, and look at that, guys. Just within the last few minutes, Brett from Good Real Hunting reached out and shared the link with me. Leanna Bevy Rage, one of our great channel members and mods here, shared the link with me as well. I was able to put it out there on Twitter. I've seen so many people already responding. It's very encouraging. In general, no one cares about what I post on Twitter, and it's awesome to see that, when people are in need and when people are mourning and families are hurting, that's getting some traction there. I've seen people reposting, and I would imagine some of you that have reposted and shared here, you can see some of their names listed. Already raised $175 of the $300 goal. I want to crush this goal, and I want to show Raymond's family, like, for how much he loved jumping in on the streams, that we love him too. Shelly says here, I'm Shelly Priest. Raymond Malaber was my cousin. He loved anything of the horror genre. He loved his YouTube horror families. That's you guys. That's us. You filled so many lonely hours for him. He was severely handicapped all his life, but wasn't bitter or angry. He was grateful when people were nice to him. I had no idea about that, because Raymond was always so quick-witted and fun in the chat. I had no idea. She goes on to say, he loved you all so very much. I was made aware that your communities would like to help with Raymond's burial. Thank you. I'd like to buy flowers and put names and YouTube channels on the cards from you and lay it upon his grave. He would be proud to have that as his covering as he begins his next journey. So, yeah, guys, if it's within your means, please consider donating, even, $5, just something. Of course, I understand that times are relatively tough and everybody's kind of going through their own stuff. So if it's something that you feel comfortable doing, please, donate to the GoFundMe. If that's something that, if you donate, or even if you're not able to donate, think about sharing the page here. Just getting that word out. It's really not very much that they're looking to raise. It would be amazing if Shelly was able to put flowers on his grave for months and months to come, just to show that the love is still there and the support is still there. I always talk about on the channel, sorry if I seem kind of out of sorts, I always talk on the channel about us lifting each other up as a community. And this is a time where I think we can, like, really, maybe even surprise his family with how much support that we're willing to give right back. That our experiences and our love and our sense of community for Raymond are a two-way street, and that we'll show up for them. And even if you can't donate, yeah, please share, keep his family in your thoughts. If praying is something that you do, please continue to flood his family and him with prayers. I believe, and you don't have to believe what I believe that the soul is eternal. And I believe that you can pray for people even when their bodies aren't here with us anymore. And the best thing we can do is keep Raymond alive in our hearts for as long as we're blessed to be here on earth. I've decided to list Raymond as a permanent channel member of the Davey Death Ray channel. No offense to Coy, our guy Happy Sanjo. I'm sure he would totally be okay with this. He was technically the first member, but I've gone ahead and put Raymond's name up top there. I'm just going to leave him there. That way, every time we watch a stream, every time we end a stream, we're reminded of him and we won't forget him. And it's the least the least I could do. If you have a channel and you have memberships, I totally encourage you to do the same thing. If Raymond was part of your community, I think it's a really sweet little tribute that we can do, you know? So those are my thoughts on Raymond, on our guy Raymond Malaber. Again, very early subscriber and community member over here at the Davey Death Ray channel. And I don't even know what else to say. I'm shocked and I'm sad that he's gone. I know that you guys are too. So let's keep up the support. Let's keep him in our hearts. And you know, on all those replays, not just over here, but all the other chats that he took part in, when we go back and we watch those replays of those lives, like, we're gonna see him there. So that's you know, just another small part of his legacy. And for how silly and unimportant and like relatively meaningless like this world of YouTube can sometimes feel, it is really cool to know that there's a time capsule there that he will hopefully and seemingly live forever in. And you know, I think we can just take solace in a little bit of that. And you know, the fact that he showed his love so much for us that his family knew it. And I think that's amazing. So those are my thoughts on all of that. And we're going to keep it rolling. I don't know if I'll talk about it as long tomorrow before we get going on Jason Takes Manhattan. It's just something I'm still processing and everything. And we'll definitely keep track on the GoFundMe. Please feel free to share, repost that link on your socials if you have socials. And please consider donating and showing Raymond and his family some love during this tough time for them and for us too. I really appreciate everyone that reached out on the post that I made on the community tab and shared some thoughts there. I really do appreciate it. It's good to know that just how much love there is out there for Raymond and how much care we have for one another. So thank you guys so very much. Okay. I think we can do this. Can we do this, guys? I'm going to need you. I need you to, it's going to be tough to just sort of, you know, wipe that and try to pep things up. And I mean, you guys know me, I'm a really fun loving guy. And I want us to have some fun here. I think, like, in honor of Raymond, I think we should do what we can to have some fun here tonight. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit beside myself. Maybe apologizing is too much, but yeah, I just still processing it and everything. So today's been a crazy day, just with that and with some other stuff going on. So I'm very much looking forward to getting going here with the stream and having some fun with you guys. So, like they do in acting class, gotta shake out the baddies. This one's for Raymond. We're gonna have some fun tonight. You guys know that I've taken a break from booze, but I poured myself a little bullet. I'm gonna have a drink for Raymond. I don't know if Raymond partook. I can't quite remember whether or not, but it's been a good couple weeks where I've been, you know, really good with the alcohol and the cannabis. And I feel really confident in the fact that I can enjoy this one, nip it right there for the rest of the night, and have a good time with you guys. So if you guys have a beverage with you, whether or not it's an adult beverage, I'm going to have a little drink for Raymond here before I say what's up to everybody. And we'll get this cruising. Cheers, Raymond. From all of us, man. Yeah, I have to chase it. I'm a wuss like that. Never been good at drinking, you know, alcohol straight. Never. And even if you do a tequila shot with salt and a lime, that's not drinking it straight. I do have, full disclosure, cream soda in here. So there we go. Okay. I'm sure there are a lot of chats here with people, sharing their tribute and everything too. I'm going to say hello to everybody. If I miss your chat and you have something that you really want me to read here again, please feel free to post it again. Yeah, I'm just going to say what's up to everybody here really quick. Okay, guys, here we go. Chester Franklin. So good to see you, man. Chester says, I voted for 80s because there was a lot of good movies in that decade. I think that would be my vote too, Chester. I try not to tip the scales at all in the polls here on the channel. King Matthew III says, I voted 90s only because I remember the OG Ninja Turtle trilogy. Also, the start of the Mission Impossible films came out then. Yeah, that 90 Turtles film. You can see right there Michelangelo's eye. Oh, we're going to talk about that one. I've posted the GoFundMe in the chat as well. I almost forgot to mention that. So it's pinned in the chat. So no excuses to at least not be able to share it. I'm going to hold you guys to that one. Okay. Big Rod, one of our great channel members, says, I picked 80s, but it's a crapshoot for me. I really liked 86 to 96. And Big Rod thanks me for sharing that. Of course, absolutely not looking for any sort of praise or anything like that. If you have a channel and you want to put Raymond's name on your channel membership, I'm not looking for a shout out or anything like that. I can be anonymous. Let's put the focus on Raymond and his family and our love and support for him and them. All right. Paula Fitzhenry says 80s and 90s. The 2000s were great too. Yeah. 2000s for me, I was a little bit older. So it's like, it's totally like once you're all growing up, you sort of like look at movies in a different way. The wonderment is a little bit, I started looking at them a little more academically in the 2000s because I was getting to be in my late teens and 20s then at that point. We got Lamontre Gillard. Hey, Lamontre, how you doing? Great to see ya. Enter the Cinevault, our guy Dean. Make sure to check out his channel. Always got to shout him out. And there he is right there, one of our great channel members. We got Ashton Luck in the house. What's happening, Ashton? And we've got Wander This World 97. So glad Heavyweights is in the thumbnail. One of my top 10 comedies. Wander This World, I saw Heavyweights in the theater 3 times. 3 times in the theater. Same amount that I saw Jurassic Park. I think the only movie I've seen more than 3 times in the theater is probably like Halloween 2018, maybe Evil Dead 2013. But yeah, Heavyweights is so good. Oh my gosh. Ben Stiller before he was a star, Let's see who else we got in here. We've got Leanna Bevy Rage. There she is, our Death Squad mod and channel member. One of the good ones. We got Cody Snyder, one of our Death Squad mods and channel members, showing up his love for Raymond. Thank you so much, Cody. We've got, let's see here. Whoa, you guys are very active saying hello to each other. I love to see the camaraderie in the community. We got our guy Prince, says for Raymond with a lovely heart emoji. Thank you so much, Prince. And man, your post on your Instagram story was really sweet. It's really great to see that. Thank you so much. Aaron Click, what's happening, Aaron? So great to see ya. We got our guy Tyler Adams throwing it up for Raymond as well. There is the man of the week, our guy Happy Sanjo, the very first channel member. And guys, did you catch him on Late Night with the Davey? Pretty damn good. So good that you guys met the super chat goal to bring Coy on back for a chat about Scream 4, 5, and 6. So we got to plan that out and bring him on back. Let's see who else we've got here. We have Jamie Hart, the original Death Squad mod and channel member. Hope you are doing well, Jamie. All things considered, of course. We got Allie Girl says, hey, y'all, been a sad week. Praying for so many people right now. Yeah, I mean, we've got devastating fires in Los Angeles. The last time I saw, there were at least 10 people who have lost their lives, unfortunately. I mean, I think I said this the other day when we were on. I feel bad for everybody out there that's affected. I don't care which way you lean politically, who the hell you voted for, how much money you have or don't have. All those other things, of course, skin color, blah, 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 blah. I don't care about any of that. I care about all the people out there who are affected. And at the same time, I do think that there needs to be some like reflection and you know, just reflection about the policies in California, the anti-burn policies, you know, to do controlled burns, and the decisions they've made with their water. I think that once the literal dust has settled and everything, I think that people, the electorate, need to look at the people they've put in power and have some really serious thoughts and conversations. And there need to be consequences for policies that end up making fiascos and catastrophes like this far more likely than not. And again, I'm not trying to get political with it. I want everyone to have the best life possible, even if you disagree with me or hate me. So this is more about going after the people that have power and failed to use it effectively. Thank you so much, Allie, for reminding me. I've been so caught up in my own life, and then of course everything going on with Raymond, that I hadn't even thought about it for a little bit here. We got Antonis Andriotis in the chat, one of our great channel members. How you doing, Antonis? Always good to see you. R.I.P. to Raymond. He was a kind guy in the horror community. Absolutely. Yes. Brad Underwood. Look at that Eagles fan hanging out in the chat. How are you doing, Brad? Really great to see you here. Jamie says Raymond is here in spirit. I sure hope so. I really, based on what his cousin Shelly said, she had brought the laptop to him, and it sounds like that, maybe he was able to catch some streams, when he was in the hospital, and that just like, I have to believe that he heard and felt our love for him. Let's see here. Who else do we got? Just want to catch up here. We got Ryan Olashow. How are you doing, Ryan? Drops an RIP Raymond. Thank you so much, Ryan, of course. Let's see who else. We got Sergeant Shitty Pickle here. Shitty. How are you doing, Sergeant Shitty? Great to see you in the chat as always. I swear I'm going to pep up here shortly, guys. I just still thinking about everything. Yes, Chester, we are a big family. Absolutely. And I've seen all sorts of love. Darren from Slaughtered Lamb had mentioned it in their stream earlier. Seen a lot of support and a lot of, keeping that memory alive and just letting people know what's going on in the community. We're all connected in a way, but some of us just aren't so connected to everyone that, something could happen and you may not know it. Aaron Click shared with us here on the channel that he had a second stroke. And I don't know if I would have known that without him, finding out, through some other means. Maybe it was the Facebook post on Good Real Hunting's page. I'm not sure, but yeah, Chester, we are a big family and we got to be there for each other. Yes, absolutely. Let's see here. Joel, I don't know if he had kids or not. He was very, very sweet, Joel. He was the first person that when a new person jumped in the chat, he was the first person welcoming him and being sweet. Great guy. Jordan says, hey, folks, just getting in. Jordan Decker, by the way, one of our great channel members, says, hey, folks, just getting in. Too much loss and devastation happening these days for so many of us. Very sorry to hear of Raymond's passing. Thank you so much, Jordan. I mean, gosh, man, it's hit your family, recently in such a big way. And then, we've got a national tragedy going on right now. It is too much loss and devastation for sure. Thank you so much for jumping in and, and sharing your sympathies, man. And, I'm still thinking about you and praying for you and your family. Just want to let you know. And of course, I forgot to mention Joel from Dark Room Reviews, one of our great channel members as well. Let's see here. Happy Sanjo says, don't be sad it's over, but smile because it happened. Glad you were a part of this community, right? Or part of all of this, Raymond. I don't know why I'm trying to make up words for Coy to say. That's a good reminder too. Yes, we have to. I'm really trying to find that next gear and find some pep, you guys. I know it's I don't really feel like I should apologize for it. I think you guys understand. I don't want to act, I don't know. I don't want to act in a way that sort of denigrates the loss. Let's see here. Raymond would want us to have some fun. Okay, Jamie's got me convinced. Let's have some fun. Thank you so much, Allie. You're so sweet. Man, when I read Shelley's post to my brother, it was really tough. It was really tough, and I thought it was going to be even tougher here. But honestly, guys, I mean this with all of my heart. Like, you guys give me so much strength. The community gives me so much strength. I thought for sure I was going to be a blithering idiot here, and it would have made the stream, I don't know. It would have brought it down, let me just say. And I think that right now we need to be mournful, of course, but we need to help bring each other up. Buccaneer Bruce says Raymond was also a beloved member of Bill's Mafia. That's where I knew him from. And yeah, I think we have a lot of Bills fans here in the Davey Death Ray and the Death Squad family. A lot of Bills fans. Yeah, man. Hey, they could go all the way this year, and you know, little would they know that they'd be doing it for him. Thank you so much, Ryan. I appreciate it. If there was ever anyone to make inappropriate jokes to lighten the mood, look no further. There you go. Okay, guys, let me just jump ahead really quick. Again, if you have, you know, something really important or a tribute that I've missed that you really want me to share, please, you know, please feel free to pop it back up in there. What's happening, Billy Judd? Great to see you, man. Again, guys, the QR code to my right here. If you want to donate to Raymond's family, you know, you can do so through there. There's also a link pinned in the chat and in the description as well. Yes, we are a strong and tight community, Ryan. And Happy Sanjo sends a super sticker. Ooh, I have to hop on over to YouTube to see what the super sticker looks like. Thank you so much, Koi. Let's see here. How far do I have to scroll up for this business? This business. It's none of your business. Oh, and he sends it's a sticker of a crying emoji. Yeah, it's been really tough, Koi. I'm so happy that, you know, that we're all here for each other. And I'm happy that, you know, that Raymond loved this community so much that his family knew about it, you know, that it's something that was just intrinsically known throughout their clan. I think that's something that we should all, you know, be really happy with, that we can, you know, people use social media and the internet to do so much shit talking and quote unquote mic dropping, or at least they think they are, and dunking on people and all that. And it's like, man, there is like a great power to do some amazing stuff and to build some beautiful, beautiful things with social media. You know, it's like anything else, it can have its good and its bad. And I think that, you know, you guys and the community that we have, not just here on this channel, but throughout all of horror YouTube, you know, we're a shining example of the positivity and the love and the community that we can show one another, you know, regardless of all the other qualifying factors that we have in our lives, you know. Kevin Ketchy is jumping in and giving a wave, one of our great channel members. How you doing, Kevin? So great to see ya. Let's see here. Bringing up the Indiana Jones trilogy. King Matthew III says, I forgot about the OG Indiana Jones trilogy. Also, I'm not sure if it counts, but I also voted the 90s for the Matrix trilogy and my favorite show, Friends. Yeah, you know, Matrix, I think the first one was 99. So the first one counts, not the sequels, but the first one counts, at least in the, and those are just the movies that I'm, you know, if you're voting for 90s, yes, the very first Matrix counts. Absolutely. Let's see here. Just want to check out who else we got going on. I don't think there would ever be anything as euphoric, optimistic, and creative as the 80s and the 90s. Every movie, show, band, etc. was just so alive. Man, I wholeheartedly agree, Kevin. Sometimes when Kevin drops a comment, I've got nothing to add because it's like he's living in my brain. Yeah, there was something really magical about that time, for sure. Oh, let's see who else we got here. Sorry, don't mean to be smacking in your guys' ears. Yeah. Prince says, you know what's a disgusting behavior, though? Like, there's a fire happening and you decide to ask for money for yourself instead of thinking, I know exactly what you're talking about, Prince, because I saw that you had liked my comment on, there was a Twitter post for a guy that works in the entertainment industry in Atlanta, Georgia, and it was basically like, hey, I know that they're suffering out there, but I also work in the industry too, so if you want to donate to my Venmo, I've had a tough time finding work. It was pretty unabashed, shameless, victimhood culture, like to the nth degree, to the worst possible degree. Dean Renner drops $4.99 and says, let's enjoy this night together as an honor for Raymond. Absolutely, Dean. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. Really appreciate you. And of course, really appreciate the sentiment. You guys are awesome. Let's see here. No, he's not. I think he's talking about somebody else, Ryan. No, we're all good. We're all good. It's a shame online a lot of people don't see the difference between comedy and bullying. Damn disconnect. I'm glad we don't have that problem here. Yeah, sometimes when you're typing out words and you can't tell tone, it's difficult to tell if somebody's joking or not. So yeah, I mean, I just think we have to be like, I don't know. I try not to say anything online that I wouldn't say to somebody's face. I think that's like a good place to start. And a lot of times when I find myself writing something, I'm like, is this really going to like push anything in a positive direction? And if not, I just walk away. Or if something upsets me, I just don't engage, because engagement helps, fuel the fire, so to speak. Tyler's so glad he found friends here. This community rocks. Absolutely, Tyler. I'm so glad too, man. You and I have not only a lot in common as far as movies go, but I know we have a lot of music love in common as well. So happy that we found each other. Jamie voted for the 2000s. Oh my gosh, it's just how I feel. Whole bunch of cheers from Dean. Love to see it. My favorite Matrix movie, mine's easily the first one. I think the second two, I haven't seen the newest one. I think the second two in the trilogy are really not good. Not good at all. My problem is I love busting balls face to face. Yeah. And I think that is sort of a generational thing a little bit, Big Rod. I don't know how old you are, but I know like when I was growing up, that's like kind of how you showed that you were friends with somebody, is you gave them shit. Leanna and I, when we're always talking, I call it good-natured ribbing, which is a term I learned from Mystery Science Theater 3000. Not saying they invented it. It's just where I picked it up. And it's sort of like, that's the way my brothers and I are. It's kind of the way my whole family is. It's like you give each other shit, and it's sort of like, my mom is always like, oh, you're so awful. And I'm like, but Mom, if I didn't love you or didn't care about you, I wouldn't say anything at all. So the fact that I'm like giving you a hard time, that's my way of showing you some love. Yeah, savagery is nice with your friends. There you go. There you go. All right, guys. So it looks like I've caught up with the chat. We have 27 people in here. Let me check on the poll over here, and then we'll get going. I really appreciate you guys hanging with me through the tribute and everything. We're going to keep that rolling through tomorrow. And of course, on that stream that Ken is putting together, whether or not I can be part of it, I have some training for my new job that I have to attend during Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in the evening for the next 2 weeks. So I'm going to have to figure out something else for Late Night with the Davey. We might have to do a Late Night with the Davey before dark, where I go live at, 11 a.m. MST or something like that. So we'll see. But we have a poll in the chat. 34 votes so far. Says, which decade had the best movies to grow up with? 59% are saying the 80s. Well, that just shows the age of most people in here. I would imagine most of us are between 35 and 45, something like that. So 59% say the 80s, 21% says the 90s, 15% say the 70s, and Jamie Hart and the other 5% say 2000s. All right. Well, if you pop into the chat, make sure to jump on over there to the poll and, get that one going. Leanna gave me an idea the other night because she does something really cool where she like watches movies, I put it in quotes. Hopefully, Leanna, hopefully you're okay with this. But, certain members of the community that she's gotten to know a little bit better. And it's like both of them sort of watch the movie and then have like a little chat about it. A really, really cool, an idea that never even occurred to me until she brought it up. We watched The Substance like a couple weeks ago that way. It was really fun. And Leanna really wants me to watch Strange Darling because I've never seen it. And it's her favorite at least horror film of 2024. I don't know, Leanna, let me know. Is it your favorite like horror, any movie 2024? I've heard really good things about it. I really like Kyle Gallner. I really like Willa Ford, in at least what I've seen her in, which is the first 2 seasons of the Scream television show. So I'm going to start a little super chat goal. 5 super chats of $5 or more. We're going to give it, let's see here. I'll give it an hour. How about that? And if you guys fulfill the goal, I'll do a live review of Strange Darling. I think this is a really cool way to, just give an incentive for something and also sort of gauge like whether or not you guys want to see it, right? Because sometimes when you're a content creator, you're like, oh, I found the idea, man. I'm going to do this thing and everyone's going to love it. And then you look at the view count and you're like, oh, shit. So this is a really great way to just sort of gauge like what you guys actually want to see from me. The proof is in the pudding. If the chat goal doesn't get met, I'm not saying I won't watch Strange Darling, but I'm not going to come on here and talk about it. So if you guys hit that super chat goal, I'll do a live review of Strange Darling, similar to what I did with Nosferatu, which I had a lot of fun with. I did another one with Terrifier 3. I think the one with Nosferatu was a bit more succinct and collected. It was about a 20-minute review where I hit up all the points and then jumped into the chat after. So let's see here. I'm just going to go ahead and get that rolling here. So yeah, guys, if you want to have me watch and review Strange Darling live, then that super chat goal is right up there. And damn, Cody, you got it. You jumped the gun on that one. No worries, though. I'm still going to give you some love. Boom. Cody drops the super chat and doesn't even have to say anything. He just drops the super chat, just boom. There it is, Let me catch up with y'all here. Let's see. Leanna says favorite of all 2024. Booyah. There it is. Thought Cody was a minor there for a second. Let's see here. Strange Darling is fantastic. Chester Franklin turned 23 this past Sunday. Happy belated birthday, Chester. How about it? I'm an old man compared to you, man. I'm 42 and a half. Yeah, you guys, let's see here. So much fun doing the watch party. We cracked so many jokes while watching. Yeah, it's sort of like a remote texting watch party, or I don't know if you guys DM or however it is you do it. I mean, it's none of my business. Just, I'm glad that you're all having fun. Corey says, yeah, you got good taste, Leanna. Dude, she certainly does. Leanna is going to be so mad at me for saying what I'm about to say. She is just so incredibly supportive and awesome and insightful and ridiculously smart and so successful at, what she does for a living. By all accounts, fantastic mother. And most importantly, she has really good taste in movies and music. She'll send me songs to listen to that would never be on my radar, even if they're like within a genre or subgenre that I really enjoy. So I know she doesn't want me to bring any attention to her, but just shout out to Leanna because she's so sweet. Let's see here. Is it Fitzgerald? Is it Willa Fitzgerald? That's what I thought. Okay, is that what I said? For some reason now I'm like, oh no, was it something else? Willa Fitzgerald. Okay, I'm thinking like Willa Ford, and I think that was like a pop star that had like one hit song back in the 90s. Oh God, hopefully I didn't say Willa Ford. Speaking of Nosferatu, I finally watched it yesterday, Davey. Awesome, Aaron. I liked it. I thought it was really good. Oh, yeah. 3.5 out of 5 for me is pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the topic of discussion for tonight. So, guys, I grew up in the heyday of, video store rentals and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure you can tell by all the posters that are surrounding me, the posters that were on, the thumbnail here. I don't even know where to start, really. I mean, the movie I probably watched the most as a child is actually Jaws, which is a 70s movie. That's the movie I watched the most. It's my favorite movie of all time. I absolutely love it. It's got everything. It doesn't hold back. And I just absolutely adore the movie. What's happening? D.A. Mac, one of our great channel members. How you doing, man? So great to see ya. We are just getting rolling here. But guys, I guess I might as well I'm looking at the background here. And I'm just going to go kind of like movie by movie. And then please let me know in the chat. Like, I want you guys to throw out some movies, that you watched a whole hell of a lot when you were growing up. Just very impactful for you. And if you if one of the movies I bring up like really resonates with you or was something that you enjoyed watching when you were a kid. All right, we'll start with this one. Then yes, please shout it out, dude. My Blue Heaven. I fucking love Rick Moranis and Steve Martin. When they're together in My Blue Heaven and the little bit that they're together in Little Shop of Horrors, which is just right down there. Ding, 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 ding. So funny. And a lot of people, I don't know if that many people know this, but My Blue Heaven is loosely based on the same person that Goodfellas is based on. It's the same story. It was inspired by the same person that ended up leaving the mob and going in a witness protection program. Just two totally different ways of telling that story. And man, Steve Martin and Rick Moranis are hilarious. Such a fun movie. Joan Cusack is in it. She's really good as well. Very charming. It's a movie that I probably watch maybe like once every other year. I think I own it on like DVD, like old school DVD. Love when they do the merengue dances and all that kind of stuff. Of course, you've got what's her face, who was the mom in License to Drive, and she was the ghost of Christmas Present in Scrooged. What is her name? I'm forgetting it right now. Chat, I need your help on that one. She's in there as well. She's fantastic. This movie, My Blue Heaven, is so much damn fun. I watched it a lot, like when I was in third grade, like 1990, 91. Watched My Blue Heaven a whole hell of a lot and kept it going through my life. Amazing. Oh, this Sunday. Sorry, I thought you said was. Okay. All right. Well, happy early birthday, Chester. Hope you have a good one, man. I hope my Redskins can win a playoff game for you for a birthday present. Dean Renner says Problem Child. Yes, the poster is not on the thumbnail or the background, but holy cow, Problem Child Jr. Oh my God, John Ritter, Michael Richards in that one as well. Oh man, what a fun movie. And a movie that, like, I'm sure you can tell by the way I am right now. Like, I must have been a total shit as a kid. It's probably something I shouldn't have been watching, but I friggin' loved Problem Child. Really liked the sequel as well. R.I.P. to John Ritter. He was so damn funny. So damn funny. Nothing hits like watching Jaws on the 4th. Yep, every year for me. Yes, Problem Child 2. There it is. The movie Jamie's watched the most is definitely The Shining. All right. Yeah, that one, I've probably seen it like 4 or 5 times. I hate to sound like a jerk. I'm like relatively lukewarm on it. I'm more of a 2001 A Space Odyssey kind of guy when it comes to Kubrick, but I think The Shining is absolutely fantastic. I have a tough time getting too hyped for it for whatever reason it is. Leanna, Jamie and I are talking about it. We're talking about it offline. We're figuring something out. Sounds like it's going to be some sort of Evil Dead conversation, which would be really fun. I would love to chat Evil Dead. Yes. Big Rod says 3 Ninjas. I think I watched 3 Ninjas maybe once or twice, Big Rod. But Kevin brings up Heavyweights again. Second time it's been brought up. Yes, Heavyweights is so damn good. One of my favorite lines in like all of filmdom is when Ben Stiller's character gets on the intercom and he's like, "Lunch is canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it." One of my favorite lines. I love the I Want Candy montage where they're hiding all the candy like in the bedposts and everything like that. Really, really fun movie. Love Heavyweights. Went to see it in the theater 3 times. Lady Hawk with Rutger Hauer. Ooh, and our guy Matthew Broderick from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yeah, I've only seen Lady Hawk once, but really cool. Kind of that whole like Willow-ish kind of 80s fantasy vibes. Yeah. Yeah, it's Lady Hawk's fun. I need to see it again. Jamie saw it at the drive-in. There you go. Carol Kane, thank you so much, Cody and Doug. And Doug Easter, is this your first time in the chat? Welcome, man. You're hanging out with the Death Squad. Everybody make Doug Easter feel welcome. Oh my God, Porky's is so good. Oh, I love Porky's. That's a movie I didn't watch as a kid. Started watching it, in my, late high school days. That movie's fantastic. I think it came out 81, just about a year before I was born. Yeah. All right, here we go. Allie's got some, these are good. I can talk about a couple of these. Batman, TMNT, Top Gun, Dirty Dancing, Adventures in Babysitting, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Yeah, man, Batman 89 had a massive effect on me. I know I've talked about it before here on the channel. You know, my oldest sister, Melanie, took me to the theater when that came out. I remember it because I grew up in Juneau, Alaska, where it rains like 300 days out of the year. It either rains or snows. Seriously, 300 days of precipitation a year. And it was a beautiful, beautiful day in the summer. You know, probably about 75 degrees, which in Juneau, Alaska is really, really nice when it's like totally clear skies. It's so rare. She bought me a vanilla Charleston chew and a tube of sweet tarts. And to this day, those are two of my favorite candies. Not only that, I wrote a letter to Jack Nicholson after that movie came out. I wanted to be an actor. That movie made me want to be an actor. His performance was completely transformative for me. It changed my life and the way I looked at movies as a 7-year-old, you know? And when the movie came out on VHS, holy shit, we bought a copy. They were kind of expensive then. I think Batman was probably like 25 or 30 bucks on VHS, you know, brand new. And I watched that movie 60 or 70 times when I was a kid. And then I continued to watch it throughout my adulthood. Not at that kind of clip because, you know, you guys know how it's like. Even if you're an adult without children, we find a way to fill our lives with all sorts of busyness. TMNT. Wow, another one. TMNT was like the consummate, you know, sleepover movie for people my age. I was born in 82 and it came out in 90. So the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they were like my Power Rangers, my Pokemon. They were the thing that all the kids my age, especially the boys, were super obsessed with. The cartoon, the movies, the video games, man. That arcade game, all I needed was a $10 roll of quarters and that arcade game, and I was locked in. Yeah, and the TMNT movie, when I made my post on Insta and YouTube and I talked about you know, movies that age like fine wine. One of the best examples right there. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990. Every time I see it, I'm like, this is better. This is better than it was before. Like that movie and RoboCop are the two movies from my childhood where I'm like, man, every time I see this movie, I think it's better than the last time, and it holds up so well. The TMNT 90 movie is such a perfect mix of the fun-loving turtles that us kids got to know through the cartoon and the gritty, real, you know, dark vision and version that were in the Laird comics. The Laird and what's the other guy's name? Why am I forgetting his name too? Gosh, you guys are going to eviscerate me in the chat. But, you know, the movie was just such a perfect mix. There's a scene there when, you know, Splinter's talking to Raphael and he's talking about like, you know, you're different than your brothers. Like you suffer silently, and Raphael cries, and that makes me tear up. You know, you guys know that I'm very like open and honest here. I feel very similarly that sometimes I've held things in, and that's why I try not to be that way anymore. So that like hits really, really close to home. So the emotional moments, the fun moments, the action, the costumes, everything of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 works for me in such a big way. Dirty Dancing, I've only seen that a couple times. Adventures in Babysitting, really loved watching that as a kid. I think that movie ages really well also. Elizabeth Shue is super, super charming in that one. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Guys, don't hate me. I've never seen that movie. I know I need to see it. Isn't Danielle Harris in that movie? I absolutely have to see that. So we'll see. We will see. Flashdance and Footloose. I don't think I've seen Flashdance. I know I've seen Footloose. Tyler, I knew Tyler would love this. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is GOAT. Yes, totally agree. It is legendary. Yes. Yes. Let's see what else you guys got going on. What's happening, Adrian? So great to see you, man. Welcome on into the chat. Let's see what else. Ooh, 4K of TMNT 90s coming. Yeah, I buy some physical media. That would be one I'd be very interested in having. I can't keep up with buying everything just because I'm poor. But maybe I'll be fortunate enough at some point to have a little change in my pocket. Dennis the Menace was a fun time. Christopher Lloyd looked gnarly. I think I only watched that one in the theater one time. Yeah, pretty sure I only saw it that one time. Maybe I should check it out again. Walter Matthau is, Mr. Wilson. Sandlot. Big Rod, that's a great one. All my friends called me Squints in middle school. I had glasses and I played baseball and I kind of looked like Squints, I guess. I don't know. Imagine a 12-year-old me with, obviously no beard and glasses. And maybe you could see that I look like Squints. Blue Velvet is another good one. Yeah, I've seen Blue Velvet, not one that I watched during my childhood a lot, but I have seen it. It is a good one. Paula says from the 80s, Goonies, Dirty Dancing, Adventures in Baby. Well, there's a lot of love for Dirty Dancing and Adventures in Babysitting. Ghostbusters. I recently watched The Breakfast Club. Loved it. Yeah, Goonies. Watched the Goonies a lot, especially because it takes place in Astoria, Oregon, and I grew up in Alaska, so not too regionally close. Astoria is one of the coolest towns I've ever been to. If I could afford to live there, I would absolutely live there. Really, really awesome coastal town. And Cannon Beach is where they have like the rocks, the monoliths at the end and everything. Ghostbusters. Love Ghostbusters. What a cast. Breakfast Club is one of those I've seen a few times and I'm like kind of, lukewarm on. I'm a little bit more of like a weird science kind of guy when it comes to like the 80s John Hughes stuff. And of course, Ferris Bueller. But I do like The Breakfast Club for sure. The Rambo movies, I think I might have only seen the one that's just called Rambo that he did back in like the early 2000 teens, something like that. Something like that. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Ryan, that's such a good one. I watch that every year. Every friggin' year. Real quick before I get to Jamie's, because she has a lot listed, let me just pick one more. I'm just going to kind of go, you guys already know how I feel about The Wizard, because I just did a watch party. So if you missed how I feel about The Wizard, check out the watch party. Right next to it, though, The Monster Squad. Holy crap. This was more like my Goonies. I love the Goonies, don't get me wrong. But Monster Squad, I rented that at least like twice a year as a kid on VHS after it come out. I was obsessed with the Universal movie monsters. I would like check out the books from the library at school and go home and read all about like Lon Chaney and Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff and all of that, So that movie came out at the perfect time. I think it was like 87 or 88 or something. So, of course, then years later when I start watching YouTube and Barry has his channel Wolfman's Got Nards, and I'm like, wow, Son Los Mismos. Like, this is like my guy here. So yeah, Monster Squad, watched it so much as a kid. I love this movie. I watch it every year around Halloween. So many great performances, just really like 80s kids being 80s kids. Like, yeah, we did say shit we shouldn't have said, and some of us smoke cigarettes. Like, fucking A right, we did. And Tom Noonan's performance as Frankenstein's monster is just heartbreakingly beautiful. So yeah, Monster Squad, that's another one. And then Jamie says The Evil Dead, The World According to Garp, Dead Poet Society, Mulholland Drive, Friday the 13th, Moulin Rouge, Land of the Dead, True Romance, Kill Bill 1 and 2, Pulp Fiction, A Christmas Story. Woo, we're all over the place. I love it, Jamie. Yeah, I mean, The Evil Dead. Do I even have to say that I'm a fan? It wasn't part of my childhood. I was probably like 16 the first time I saw The Evil Dead. Changed my life. Changed the way I looked at film. Became obsessed with it ever since then. Never seen The World According to Garp. Dead Poet Society is really good, really heavy, and I was like relatively young at the time. I think I saw it once, but didn't dip too much back into it. Friday the 13th, yeah, once I saw those on television, I was like, oh shit. It was like a whole new world. Just the clouds opened up and everything. Land of the Dead, that's one of my favorites. I love Land of the Dead. True Romance is so good. I need to watch that more. I own a copy. I need to watch it more. Of course, Kill Bill 1 and 2. Pulp Fiction's still my favorite Tarantino. Hateful Eight's like right there. I love Pulp Fiction, the way the story's told and everything. It's probably one of the reasons why I may like Strange Darling quite a bit. But We'll see if I end up talking about Strange Darling, because we're 0 for 5 on the super chat goal. Oh no, you guys don't want to hear me talk about Strange Darling. That's okay. That's okay. No pressure. A Christmas Story. Man, I went on and on about that when I talked about that with you guys. My family's been watching A Christmas Story every Christmas Eve since like it came out on VHS, long before the days of the TBS or TNT or whoever it is that does the 24 hours thing. We were on that Christmas Story hype train when people were still like, what's A Christmas Story? So very proud of that. Not bragging for me, I'm bragging for my family, so it's okay. Very, very thankful that I got to grow up with that one. We would go to like midnight mass as a kid, and then we would come home and put on A Christmas Story. And we would open up our presents on Christmas Eve. We're like, fuck it. You know, once I knew all about Santa and everything, it was like, we're opening up our presents at like 1:30. You know, technically Christmas, but Christmas Eve night. All right. Every time I think of Blue Velvet, I think of Jamie in the theater watching it with the parents. I always think about Green Day's Kerplunk when I think of Blue Velvet. I know I've explained the reference before. If you understand the reference, you know, if you know, you know. Let's see here. Loved Batman. Absolutely. No, don't watch Porky's at age 5. There's too much dong and bush in that. You got to wait until you're a little bit older and it means something. 30th anniversary of Heavyweights this year. They filmed it here in North Carolina, and I'm hoping to make a big filming locations trip out of it. I'm feeling skinny. Hell yeah, Kevin. That'll be awesome, man. I'd love to see that. Man, if you would be down, it would be cool to have you on the channel. I mean, of course, like, show what you've got, you know, on your own channel. I'm not asking you to hold back or anything, but it would be cool to have you on the channel and maybe showcase some of the pictures or video that you've got of those locations. Yeah, we can do a little celebration, maybe do a watch party or something. Please, Kevin, feel free. If it's something you're into, I don't want to pressure you, but if it's something you're into, my social media is in the description below. Hit me up with a DM. And that goes for all of you guys. If you have a question for me, you want to see something on the channel, you want something in the merch shop that you're not seeing there, whatever it is, you need to vent to somebody that's not super close to you and you just want to like say something, just reach out to me. I'll do everything I can to be there for you in whatever capacity I can. All right. Romancing the Stone and Jewel of the Nile. I don't know if I ever saw the second one, but Romancing the Stone is very fun. Like Indiana Jones with a bickering couple. So much fun. Ooh, Black Rain, another Michael Douglas film. I never saw it. I think at the time it came out, it was like maybe a little too adult for me, or for whatever reason. I don't remember seeing it if I did see it. Christmas Vacation. Oh my gosh. Christmas Vacation. Holy cow. Sometimes my family just speaks in quotes from this movie. And of course, the original Vacation as well. Let the spirit of the season carry us away. Just wait and see this Christmas Vacation. TMNT taught me that when you say damn, you have to yell it at the top of your lungs. Damn. Yep. That's what's up. That's what's up. I feel like I'm so far behind on the chat. Let me play a little bit of catch up here. Everyone's saying what's up to Doug Easter, one of our new folks hanging out in the chat. Doug, if you dig the experience here and you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe. Everyone drop in the Kevin Eastman. Yes, thank you guys. I know I'm terrible. I get tunnel vision when I'm on a live. What can you say? What can you say? Let's see here. Who else we got? RoboCop is so fantastic. Yes, Ali gets better every single time. Aaron says it's a boring, typical answer, but The Empire Strikes Back is the movie I've seen the most. The OG Vacation is close behind, though. Yeah, Empire Strikes Back is so friggin' good. Easily my favorite Star Wars movie. Yeah. Yep. Elias Codius is Casey Jones. Oh, he's so good. So good. Love it. Love it so much. Let me see what else you guys got going on. Nothing But Trouble. Yeah, the penis nose is ingrained into my memory. I've got a copy of that on DVD, I think. Yeah. That movie's wild, man. The cast, you know, sorry, I have an itchy nose. Chevy Chase, Demi Moore, Dan Aykroyd, John Candy. Yeah. Chester says, from the 80s for me, it's National Lampoon's Vacation, Weird Science, Breakfast Club, Comedy Action, Escape from New York, Die Hard, Predator, Horror Halloween 2, The Thing, Poltergeist, Christine, and The Fog. Those are all great. I love all that. Out of the ones that I watched a whole hell of a lot, gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. My mustache is being a jerk right now. Yeah, Vacation, Weird Science, watch those a whole hell of a lot. Die Hard a lot as well. Of course, Halloween 2, and The Thing. Those are the ones I watched a lot, like growing up. Yeah. Back to the Future, obviously. Yep, I got that right above me there. Love that Back to the Future trilogy. That's one that my family like always owned. Like we had the trilogy on VHS, and then when it came out on, I think it was just DVD, we got the box set and everything like that. So that's been a huge part of my, childhood and growing up, and a lot of rewatches. I love that. Oh my God, they found me. I don't know how, but they found me. Love that so much. My one of the bands I listened to in high school, the OC Supertones, shout out to Christian Ska. They used that quote before one of their songs on their very first record. Remains of the Day. Oh my goodness, Ryan. Yes, Remains of the Day. I don't know if I ever saw that one. Was it Leanna? Did you send me the clip from like Waiting for Guffman with Remains of the Day? Let me know. Kindergarten Cop was Astoria as well. Yeah. Leanna says Some Kind of Wonderful. Yes, I just watched that for the very first time a couple weeks ago per Leanna's influence. And yeah, that one's really good. A very underrated, underappreciated John Hughes movie. Great performances. And an easy watch. Yeah, Elias Koteas is there, Eric Stoltz, Mary Stuart Masterson, John Ashton from Beverly Hills Cop was in there as well. Good stuff. Candace Cameron is like a little girl. Very charming as well. What's happening, Brett? Hope you are doing well, my guy. Thank you so much for dropping on in. One of our great Death Squad mods and channel members. How about it? Ooh, I've never seen that one, Ryan. Never seen that one with Jack Lemmon. I love Jack Lemmon, though. What's happening, Kyle Curtis? How are you doing? From Flet's Movies and Pop Culture 13, one of our great channel members. Hope you're doing well, sir. Ooh, Universal Soldier. I missed that one, Prince. I mean, I knew it was out, but I did not see it. Sorry, guys. Just got to have some dead air to wet my whistle. Better Off Dead is so good, man. Better Off Dead and One Crazy Summer. I probably watch Better Off Dead more than One Crazy Summer. Trying to think if there was another, because John Cusack's also in 16 Candles. I didn't really watch that one too much growing up. Let's see here. Really quick, before we get into Kevin's comment here, talking about 90s favorites, let's go ahead, and I want to talk about another one. It's right underneath me there. Airplane. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. Airplane is one of the most quotable films of all time. My friends and I, like, we would just always talk about it. It was, showing on TV all the time when we were kids. I would rent it as a kid as well. Yeah, my parents let me rent Airplane, even though it's got some boobies and some adult humor. But when you're a kid, some of that just goes right over your head. And I just loved all the silly jokes, right? Trying to remember the star's name. I don't know why. Ted Stryker, that actor. Why am I forgetting his name? He was in that 70s show. I think he ended up playing like Hyde's. They thought he was Hyde's dad, and he's not really. But Airplane, I mean, ruined me for all the terrible parody movies that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, because I grew up with movies like Airplane, Naked Gun, Hot Shots, Loaded Weapon 1. All the four of those are represented here because I watched them that much. Spaceballs is another one. It's just right there to my left. And yeah, I was kind of spoiled by all these great parody movies. Lloyd Bridges in Airplane is one of the funniest performances. Robert Stack's really good. To me, there's not a bad performance in Airplane. I could put that movie on any day of the week and have such a fun time. Kevin brings up 90s favorites, Heavyweights, Blair Witch Project, Dumb and Dumber. Ooh, yes. I watched Dumb and Dumber a lot. Jim Carrey kind of ruled my life for a little bit there, guys. Brink, It, Halloween, H2O, The Edge, and Twister. I probably watched Halloween H2O quite a bit. I was, 16 when it came out? Something like that. I did see it in the theater. Copyright Jamie Hart. Anytime I say that, I have to say copyright Jamie Hart. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. But yeah, Dumb and Dumber, Kevin. Heavyweights, of course, we've talked about it. Dumb and Dumber, I watched so much. That one, The Mask, and right above my head there, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. I mean, every kid my age wanted to be Jim Carrey. That's just the way it was. The never-ending story. La, da, 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 da. Yep, watched that one a lot as well. Even the sequel with Jonathan Brandis, R.I.P. to him. Son-in-Law, I saw that one. I dig Son-in-Law. It's been a long time, though. Ooh, Fear with the Mark Wahlberg. William Peterson, I think, is in that one. Ooh, Rocky 4. Probably saw Rocky 4 a couple times. The Crow, saw that a couple times. Never-ending story, though, Allie. I watched that one a lot. Shout out to Allie Girl, one of our great channel members. I think I missed giving you the channel member shout out there, Allie. Really appreciate you jumping in and hanging out. Heat 1995. I've seen that a couple times. Yeah, that's a pretty underrated movie for sure. Yes, Better Off Dead. Yes. It's a really good. I'm not the biggest New Found Glory fan, but that self-titled record they have, that Better Off Dead song is really, really good. I think Rachel Lee Cook is in the music video, and thump, 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 thump. That's my girl, Rachel Lee Cook. That's the one. That's the one that ruined me for everybody else. I love Night of the Creeps and Monster Squad 2, Fred Decker films. I still need to see Night of the Creeps, guys. I haven't seen it yet. But Monster Squad, holy shit. There was another one called My Bodyguard that I liked. That's not the one with Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner. It was a different one, right? I think. The American President? I don't think I remember that. You guys are bringing up some that, there you go, Bodyguard. I've seen that at least once. Mulholland Drive, one of the best films ever made, if you ask me. I don't think I've seen that one either. I know, guys, I'm terrible. Halloween 6, 1995, for me, horror, action twister, and comedy, Tommy Boy. Oh, dude. Chester. I mean, I watched Curse of Michael Myers quite a bit. I was the kid in my group of friends when we were in high school that would insist on renting that one from the video store and watching it back in the VHS days. But Tommy Boy, saw it in the theater. Copyright Jamie Hart. And man, that movie has got so much rewatchability. It's so much fun. I love, like, David Spade and Chris Farley, even in like Black Sheep is lesser than Tommy Boy, but it still has a lot of really great, funny, hilarious, memorable moments. When Chris Farley goes out on stage with Mudhoney and he's high and he's like, I don't know about you, but I could sure use some peanut butter cups right about now. And he says, kill Whitey. And of course the drive, when they drive and then what is it, the Nas like leaks into the car and they're going like 7 miles an hour, like that whole scene. Oh my gosh, Chris Farley falling down a hill. I know it's low-hanging fruit, but he keeps on falling, and then he like looks up and he's like, what the hell was that all about? So much fun, man. So much fun. I'm of the cloth where I stole my mom's cigarettes and my babysitter was the first person to get me stoned. We rode bikes and drank from the hose. It was a good time. Shout out to being brought up in the 80s, man. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Boom! Brett from Good Real Hunting dropping a $1.99 says, let's get this goal, chat. And I think, though, Brett, because the goal is 5 that are $5 or more, we're still at 0. We have 27 minutes left, but it's okay. You know, if people don't want to see me do a live review of Strange Darling, I'll still watch the movie. I just won't do a live review. But really appreciate the $1.99, Brett. You are so sweet, man. Thank you so much. I watched Christmas Story over and over as a wee child. Yes, absolutely. The Fugitive is perfect. That's one I've seen, but not a lot. Not a lot. Leanna dropping the $1.99 says, let's talk some Strange Darling on here. Thank you so much for the $1.99, Leanna. But yet again, it's the $5 super chats or more. Should I change that, guys? Should I end this one? Should I remove this goal and I'll drop the price. I'll drop the price. Here we go. Let's reset it. 5, and unfortunately, it won't count the ones that you guys have already put in there, but it makes it so much more attainable. So $2 or more, 5 of those will get me to do a live review of Strange Darling. I'm so sorry, guys. I got too greedy. I'll be the first to admit when I'm wrong. I got too greedy. I'm sorry. Cruel Intentions. Still never seen that one. Yeah, I need to check that one out. Love Sarah Michelle Gellar. And I missed that boat when I was in high school and Buffy was on the air and everyone had like posters of her and stuff. I don't know if it was like her voice I didn't like or something like that. I was, I've always been kind of a picky bitch and probably even more so then. Plus back then I already had a girlfriend that was like gigantic rack and all. So I was sort of like, oh, I don't need to pine over some like TV or movie star. Like I've got a real one right here. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Tyler, yes. Thank you for bringing that one up. I still love that movie so much. Another example of a movie that ages like fine wine. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is so damn good. Love it so much. I wish there were more movies that, Zemeckis was like on the forefront of all that kind of stuff. And did a really he still is pushing what movies are capable of. And Who Framed Roger Rabbit is exceptional. Waterworld. I think I saw this one in the theater. Yeah, the much maligned Waterworld. Yes. Yep. Let's see here. There's definitely a thing where you get brain fog with fun facts you normally know, but instantly forget when on the spot. Yep. Especially, during a live stream, like you're saying. Absolutely. Paula says from the 90s, Clueless, Pretty Woman, Scream, Good Will Hunting, Titanic, JFK, all the Grisham movies. Now and Then, A Few Good Men, Austin Powers, I Love Trouble, and heck of a lot more. Yeah, Clueless. I love Clueless. I think it's amazing. It's so, so good. Scream. I mean, you guys know me. I've watched Scream once or twice a year for a really long time. Not one that I watched like in my childhood, really. I mean, I was like 14 the first time I saw it, 14 or 15. So I wouldn't consider that necessarily childhood, but it's one of those 90s movies that I watched a whole hell of a lot. Austin Powers, especially The Spy Who Shagged Me. That's my favorite one of the three. Yeah, Big Rod, Animal House is my favorite National Lampoon's. That's one that I've watched quite a bit as well. Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like either Vacation or Loaded Weapon 1, I think. Let me see here. What else? Ooh, Caddyshack would be second. Yes, Caddyshack is not represented here, but it is definitely a movie that I grew up watching a whole heck of a lot. Before we get going here, I'm going to just bring up another one. Maybe I'll do two really quick from the posters, just because I kind of want to hit on all of these that are around me. The Naked Gun. I mean, wow. Talk about like inappropriate jokes that like a 7 or 8-year-old shouldn't be watching, but so damn funny. And another movie that ages like fine wine. It keeps on getting funnier and funnier. The jokes always work for me. I love how like straight, Leslie Nielsen plays it all. I love that he doesn't play it up for laughs, even though everything's ridiculous around him. And Little Shop of Horrors, the one right next to it. I mean, my favorite musical of all time. Frank Oz directed the hell out of that movie. The creature design for Audrey 2 is amazing throughout the entire feature. The songs, I love the soul style of the music and the arrangements, and everyone just knocks it out of the park. It's really fun to hear Rick Moranis like really belt out a beautiful song, and he plays Seymour Krelborn so naturally. Just such great casting in this film all around. And there are some really cool, like you could tell they built these huge sets, because there are scenes where instead of doing a transition like an actual edit or a wipe, they just move the camera from one part of the stage all the way over into another part of the stage that's seemingly like 30 yards away. Really, really cool. Like they bring in a little bit of that stage kind of feel that you would get from the musical in the actual theater. In the stage theater, and then they bring that to life in the film version. I think it's a really cool marrying of the two worlds. Waiting for Guffman is amazing. I love when Christopher Guest does that little dance that he does with his backwards pants. The first time I watched that movie, I had to rewind that like 3 or 4 times. Yes, Rodney Dangerfield. Any little bit of him is appreciated. Yes, so good in Caddyshack. I mean, so many great performances from him back then, especially. And even in the 90s, Ladybugs and what was it, Rover Dangerfield, like the animated movie he did with the dogs. That was pretty fun. Repo Man was really good, but I don't remember much about it. It's been so long. Yeah, I've only seen that one a couple times. My buddy Foz Rotten and I covered it on Movie Punks back in the summer. So I watched it in preparation for that a couple times. Parenthood 89. I've not seen that one in a while. Yeah. I remember when it came out, though, with Steve Martin. Yeah. Jamie got Some Kind of Wonderful Steelbook for Christmas. Hell yeah. Ace Ventura is another one I like. The duo of Courtney Cox and Jim Carrey was funny. Yeah, it's a really, really funny movie. Pat, that Halloween movie collector. What's happening, Pat? Jumps on in and says, Dazed and Confused. Still watch it way too much. That's such an easy movie to watch. So much fun. Great ensemble cast. Yeah, an absolute banger. I've probably seen it a handful of times. Not so much like in my childhood, more as an adult for sure. What's happening, Frank's Media and Reviews? We got our guy Frank hanging out. Hope you're doing well. I know I'm like 15 minutes behind on the chat. Sorry about that, Frank. Maybe I can jump ahead here. Every now and then I just like to jump way ahead just to sort of keep to catch up with you guys. To put it simply for all the kids here, the 80s was the golden age of cinema. Some of the greatest films of every genre was released in that glorious Coke-fueled era, says Sergeant Shitty Pickle. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a magical time. It really was a magical time. Let's see here. I'm just going to sort of skip ahead. Ooh, Wayne's World, says Big Rod. Yes, saw that in the theater. Copyright Jamie Hart. And a lot on VHS. Yes, absolutely. It's like people only do things because they get paid. And I just think that's sad. Love it. Love seeing it. Let's see here. Boom. Jordan Decker's been a member for 2 months, sharing that member chat. Thank you so much for being a member for 2 months, Jordan. Hope we can keep you around, brother man. An underrated gem, Idle Hands from 1999. Lots of good laughs in that film. I need to see that one again. Because when I saw it as a teenager, I was like, oh man, this movie's just ripping off Evil Dead 2. I was, an even bigger dick when I was in high school. So never mind that now. Never mind that, as Doc Brown would say. Yeah, I need to watch Idle Hands again. Absolutely. Should have done it this last year because it was the 25th anniversary. Fucked up on that one. Chris Farley was going to be Shrek before he overdosed. Yeah, and it was going to just be animated. Yeah, I think I might have only seen I've seen a couple of his movies, Jamie. I've seen Blue Velvet. I know there's another one I've seen. I just can't think of it right now. We're negotiating with Dave. I know. I am such a sad sack that I'm willing to just go drop my price just like that. Just of all the cheap and lousy ways to save a buck, I changed my mind about the Christmas bonus. Yeah, Davey Death Ray is slashing prices. What about the line from UHF? I forgot to include UHF here. Holy shit. I probably watched UHF out of the comedies probably the most in my entire childhood. UHF with Weird Al Yankovic and a different David Bowie, not the singer David Bowie, the actor David Bowie, who also has a little cameo at the very end of The Cable Guy. I love when they do that that car ad, and it's like a parody of a guy that actually like said some crazy shit on car ads where he's like, if you don't come down and buy a car within the next half hour, I'm going to club this baby seal. That's right, I'll club a seal to make a better deal. You want to know why? Because I'm crazy. I think it's Crazy Ernie's Used Car Emporium or something like that. Have a great night, Allie. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Really appreciate you. Have a good one, Coy. Hope we can see you tomorrow for the Jason Takes Manhattan watch party. That one's going to be fun. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Speaking of the Naked Gun, takes off pants. Oh, jeez, Jordan. Darn. Leanna's seen Rushmore over 100 times. Wow. Suddenly see more. Yeah. I mean, both of them do such a great job there. Yeah. So good. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Uncle Buck, Weird Science, Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. John Hughes was a fucking legend in the 80s. After Home Alone 2, his scripts went downhill. I don't even know what he wrote after that. But yeah, those are all bangers, man. I guess that's a good time to just sort of like move on to a couple others that I have here in the background there. I'd be remiss if we missed any of these movies. Spaceballs by Mel Brooks. My favorite Mel Brooks movie, easy. I know most people, Blazing Saddles is like the consensus answer pretty much. But Spaceballs to me is the funniest. Again, Rick Moranis, awesome. John Candy, even cooler. Joan Rivers, hilarious. Yeah, there are so many lines in that movie. I love when what does he say? God dang it. When they're in the desert and they're dragging like her suitcases around and they find that she has her giant hair dryer in there. And he's like, gosh, what does he say to her? I know I'm totally failing right now. Anyways, Spaceballs. So many great lines. I love what's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken? Like just little silly jokes like that. Keep firing, assholes. Another classic line. Sipping the coffee through the helmet. Top notch. Yeah, Spaceballs is incredible. Easily my favorite Bill Pullman performance. He's just not that great of an actor, but he's very, very funny in that movie. And Ferris Bueller's Day Off right above it there with Matthew Broderick, of course. Really, really fun movie. Just a movie where like you want to be that kid. You want to be the kid that gets away with everything and still has a best friend and a sweet looking girlfriend. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is such an easy movie to watch. I'm surprised they haven't tried to remake that one. I guess maybe they did with Baby's Day Out. Just joking. But yeah, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, another great John Hughes movie. Super charming. Could not stop watching it as a kid. And, because I have 4 older siblings, it was just one of those movies that like I just remember from my entire existence. Like I don't remember seeing it for the first time. You know what I mean? All right, moving on here. Let me see if I can catch up there. Boom, Cody Snyder dropping a $2 super chat and another one. Boom, 2/5 of the way there, and another 3/5 of the way there. 4/5, and Leanna closes it out. At prices like these, who can resist? Thank you so much, guys. Well, look at that. Big Rod's dropping another 2. Who doesn't want more? Davey. So you guys have reached the super chat goal. The goal is complete. I will watch and do a live review of Strange Darling. How about that? Ludicrous speed, go. Light speed too slow. I love I wanted to name a band Ludicrous Speed Go. I think that would have been a really fun name for a band. I love at the very end when they go to hit the reverse of the self-destruction button and it says out of order and Rick Moranis is like, fuck, even in the future nothing works. Like the one F-bomb that they sneak into that movie and it's like the perfect place. I know, and I'm surrounded by assholes. Who made that man a gunner? I did, sir. He's my cousin. Who is that guy? Asshole, sir. I know that. What's his name? That is his name, sir. Asshole. Lieutenant Asshole. I bought Blazing Saddles on 4K and I haven't seen it in years. It's probably going to shock me. Oh, it's really good. Don't get me wrong. It is really good. Maybe it's just because I grew up with Star Wars instead of Westerns that Spaceballs just, resonates more with me. What's happening, John Doe Juggalo? Our guy Jeff. How you doing, Jeff? No worries about being late, man. We're kicking it, talking about movies we loved as children, And of course, yes, we are honoring and tributing our guy Raymond Malibu, who unfortunately passed away. So I've got the QR code for his GoFundMe. There's a link pinned in the chat and also a link in the description to the GoFundMe if you want to, help out with that. So we gave a nice little tribute at the beginning of the stream here, and we're trying to have some fun now, trying to just sort of lighten things up. Guys, I'm going to check the goal on the GoFundMe here just to see if there's been any movement. Oh my gosh, look at that. 250 raised and they've upped the goal to 450. So I consider this a win because the original goal was $200. So any bit over that, even better. And this is really, really cool. I see Dane, who I know is a friend of Movie Misfits video. I've seen him on there. Douglas Easter, who's in the chat right now, dropped a 25. Brandon Meacham with the 25. Leanna dropped a 50. Big Rod dropped a 25. I'm not trying to embarrass you guys. I just want you to know. William Stewart, I'm not sure if that's somebody that's in the chat or just somebody else, $50 and an anonymous 25. So really, really cool to see everybody contributing there. Again, $250 raised out of the now $450 goal to help out with everything over there for Raymond and his family. Let's just destroy that goal and show Raymond and his family just how much he was loved and is loved continually by us. I'm not even sure if we're allowed to include our favorite shows, but mine is an old one, MASH. Oh yeah, that's a big time show. Favorite 90s movies from Frank's Media and Reviews, TMNT 1 and 2, My Blue Heaven, Little Giants, Pulp Fiction, Goodfellas, Audition, Toy Story, and Boogie Nights. You grew up watching Boogie Nights, Frank? Oh my, oh my. Yeah, Little Giants, really fun. Another Rick Moranis. I think Ed O'Neill is in that one, if I remember correctly. Or is that the one? Yeah, Ed O'Neill's in that one. Yeah. My Blue Heaven, we talked about that a little bit earlier, Frank. That's one that I still watch to this day. Maybe every other year, something like that. I watch My Blue Heaven. Love it. Yeah, really dig that one. Cry Baby, Serial Mom, A Dirty Shame are all great John Waters flicks. That guy's mind is a wonder of the world. Oh yeah, he's out there, man. That Spaceballs by the Spinners kicks ass. Spaceballs, watch out with a spaceball. Yeah, really, really fun. It's Mega Maid, sir. He's gone from suck to blow. Have a great night, Chester. Thank you so much for kicking it with us, man. We'll see you next time around. Anything Nickelodeon during the 90s too, all that, Keenan and Kel, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Hey Arnold, Rocket Power, Doug, just the best time to be alive coming home from school to these. Yep. Oh yeah, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Good shit. Beauty and the Beast, that reminds me, Ryan, my two big Disney animated features when I was a kid that I watched a lot were The Little Mermaid and Aladdin. I used to come home from school in 6th grade and do homework, the first hour and a half, whatever, right when I got home from school, and I would just put on Aladdin and do my homework and sing all the songs and everything. It was great. No worries, Chester. Hope you have a great birthday, man. We'll see you next time around. Let's see here. Another dime piece of the 90s was Fight Club. So good. Not part of my childhood, but so good. Yes. Candyman is my favorite horror movie. There you go. Sweets to the sweets. Meet Joe Black, Legends of the Fall. Yes. Office Space, that's a really good one. Not one that I grew up with as a child, but yeah, two chicks at the same time, man. Love it. PC load letter? What the fuck does that mean? I love when he's like, one of these days, I swear to God, I'm going to beat this thing or whatever. And he's like, you and me both, brother. That thing's lucky I'm not armed. So much fun. Let's see here. What else? Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore are great as well. Oh my gosh. Watch those movies quite a bit. Michael Bolton? I celebrate his entire catalog. You can just call me Mike. Did like Wayne's World, and I love my Disney movies. Yeah, the Disney movies used to be so good. Spawn. Probably saw that once or twice. Maybe. Yes, Clifford with Martin Short. Dean, I did a video, my Rad 9 of 1994, when the Rad Pack did that challenge. Clifford from Martin Short was one of my Rad 9 from 1994. Ben Savage is in that one. Of course, Charles Grodin, Mary Steenburgen. Oh my gosh, such a good movie. I love Martin Short. So good. Pure Luck with Martin Short and Danny Glover. I know it's a remake of a French film. Really, really funny. There you go. Ryan knows what you're talking about too. I didn't grow up on a lot of them, but going back, the 70s is unmatched for movies to watch as a kid. That's sort of what I'm getting at. best movies to grow up with. But whatever. I mean, yeah. So I mean, if you just love the 70s outright, and that's you want to throw your vote that way, hell yeah, Gavin. Welcome to the chat, man. Gavin Mudd Nelson, one of our great channel members, and now's a good time here to just hit up the poll here. 47 votes, 62% say the 80s, 17% say the 70s, and 17% say 90s, and just 4% say the aughts for which decade had the best movies to grow up with. Holy cow. You guys are so sweet to me with your super chat goals. Well, I'll have to think of another one for tomorrow, and we'll have some fun with that. Meteor Man, also shout out to Blank Man. I've never seen Meteor Man. I think I saw Blank Man. Only once, though. I don't really remember it, yeah. Look at me like a human boy. Like, he just can't. I love it so much. When he's, like, eating all, like, the snack food, and it's, like, the donut and the cereal and, like, all... Oh, my gosh. Stefan. That line that Charles Grodin has where, like, they stop at the rest stop. And Clifford like pays a kid to switch costume, or like to get his dinosaur costume, so he can like basically stow away on the. I know if you haven't seen this movie, you're like, what the hell? But Dean will get it. And the guy's like, have you seen my son? And Charles Grodin is like, the last time I saw him, he was counting the money he made in the men's room. And the guy just like decks him. So funny. Yeah, Clifford's so good. There you go. A handful of people like Clifford. What's happening, Brett? How are you doing, man? One of our great channel members, Brett Patrick, and one half of the duo over there at Pat That Halloween Movie Collector. Or maybe you guys are more than a duo. It's like every time I jump over there, it's usually just you guys, and then sometimes you do a panel. I think of the channel as sort of both of your guys' channel. I don't know if I'm wrong in that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Smack me around right in my face. Come on. I've been bad. Tell me I've been naughty. All right. Inner Space with Martin Short, yeah, and Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid was in that one. I need to watch that show, Leanna. What is it? A couple seasons, or was it just one? It's a show, right, or like a mini series? Unforgiven from Clint Eastwood. Yeah, not one that I grew up with. Or, you know what though? What was it? 92? Yeah, I guess so. I think I saw it like once when I was a kid. Not really interested in westerns as a child. So I need to go back and watch Unforgiven because I know it was a Best Picture winner. I think Clint Eastwood's movies are, I think he's an amazing filmmaker and a fun actor to watch as well. Always really pushing it with the movies he makes. I appreciate that. They're usually like really serious and pointed and tough. Frank says, thanks for putting up Raymond's GoFundMe link. Just donated. I put the link up as well to my post from earlier. Awesome. Thank you so much, Frank. Really appreciate you, man. Earlier on in the stream when I was doing my, kind of my tribute, and we were, taking that time to honor Raymond, we certainly acknowledge that you, have been out there sharing and, as well as the other folks within the content creation side and on the audience side of people, either sharing a story on Instagram or, pushing along somebody else's post. So really appreciate it just from everyone within the whole community that's coming together for this. So let's see where we are. Let's see, maybe it hasn't caught up with your donation there, Frank. Oh, there it is, 275. Look at that, guys. 275 of 450. That's so encouraging to see. Again, the original goal was just 200, so we've already beaten that goal right there. I would imagine GoFundMe just automatically ups the goal as it continues to raise money. I'm just guessing. Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. Watched that quite a bit as well. I think that's a Canon Group movie. Yeah, a lot of fun. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I never saw that one. Ooh, the OG Poltergeist. That's another really good one too. Definitely not for kids. Shit like Network and Apocalypse Now. But yeah, 80s and 90s for coming of age. Yeah. Dude, Network's one of my favorite movies of all time, Gavin. It's one of the best scripts, I think, that's like ever been written. The Patty Chayefsky scripts, there's one with George C. Scott called The Hospital. Really, really good as well. Anybody remember The Boy Who Could Fly or Flight of the Navigator? Those are super nostalgic for me. Grew up watching them. Oh, and Not Quite Human. I haven't heard of Not Quite Human. I remember The Boy Who Could Fly and Fly to the Navigator for sure. Like I remember that one being a good one. I remember like ABC would air that like once a year when I was growing up, and I think they would split it between 2 nights because it was just like kind of long. At least, you know, when you want to run a bunch of ads on ABC about it. I read the polling question wrong. I seem to have skipped the growing up part. You're fine, Jamie. Don't worry about it. Jamie, I saw it in the theater heart. Who can forget the first Jurassic Park? I mean, that was massive. I watched that. I think it was going into my 6th grade year, 93, right? Everybody had like Jurassic Park binders and pencils and everything that year when I was in 6th grade. The piss in the water guns was a highlight of the 80s. Oh my God, you guys. Is that in one of those movies and I'm just totally forgetting it? I don't know. Okay, guys, so I want to talk about a couple more of the movies that we've got here in the background. We've we've touched on a lot of them so far. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Now, I like all the Indiana Jones movies. The one that I watched the most growing up was The Last Crusade. It's my favorite in the trilogy, like even today. I think I would probably rank them like reverse order, the first 3. Sean Connery is super charming as Dr. Jones Sr. And I just love the Holy Grail like mythology. I love the idea of like the Shriner guys, like the secret group that are there to protect people from even finding out where the Grail is. Like I love that whole aspect. I feel like it really had a bit more of like a Bond movie feel than the other 2 movies. I would imagine having Connery in there maybe inspired some of that. Love Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I remember, is it a Coke or a Pepsi commercial that would air before on the VHS? And it was like an epic commercial that has like all sorts of Indiana Jones, like pits and follies. And basically like a guy just goes to get a soda for like him and his wife or something as they're sitting down to watch the movie. And like the ground cracks open and all this awesome stuff. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. Really, really nostalgic just thinking about dropping that VHS in, pushing it on in the player and watching a wild movie, man, when they drink from the wrong cup and they fall apart like friggin' a little bit of Large Marge kind of Chiodos brother effects action that looks really, really good. I love Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Easily my favorite Indiana Jones movie. Not even close with the other ones. Although I do like the original 2. I don't like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or Dial of Destiny. Not into those. And then Ace Ventura, we sort of touched on it a little bit, but I mean, so formidable as far as like all the catchphrases and all the ridiculousness and just the energy that Jim Carrey has in his performance there. Of course, we've got like a younger Courtney Cox pre-Friends. And that movie was a big deal when it came out because I think it only cost like $6 million to make, something like that. And it was a hit that came out of nowhere. No one saw Ace Ventura coming, and it just blew the doors off the place. And then Jim Carrey had The Mask and Dumb and Dumber, and all of a sudden 1994 is the year of Jim Carrey, just like that. And it all kicked off with Ace Ventura, a fabulous movie that I could not stop watching. We sort of already talked about Back to the Future, so we'll hit up those other 2 after I grab a couple of your guys's here. And wow, 34 people in the chat. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out. I just sometimes I have to take a step back and just really extra appreciate how supportive you guys are as a community. 2025 is starting out as just, the best month I've had here on YouTube as far as all the metrics go. And your guys' support has been incredible so far here in 2025. So thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Take part in that poll, and of course, QR code for Raymond's GoFundMe and link pinned in the chat and in the description as well. And I guess I could mention too that we do have we've revamped the merch shop and relaunched that, so there's some new gear there, some new designs, and if you use the discount code EARLYBIRD, you get 10% off. So if you're looking to get a little Davey Death Ray gear, that's where you can get it. Or you can just put that money towards Raymond's family, and we'll get you next time around. Let's see here what you guys have. Flopbuster. What's happening? Says, have we talked about heavyweights yet? A couple times, Flopbuster. Yes. Heavyweights, amazing. I saw it 3 times in the theater. Love that movie so much. Still love it to this day. Ben Stiller's performance, to me, that was his breakout performance right there, is that one. Love it. Love Heavyweights so much. Mac and Me for its ridiculousness. You know, I never saw Mac and Me until Mystery Science Theater covered it on there when they came back and they did the what did they call it? I can't remember what they called it when it came back on The Return. Mystery Science Theater 3000 The Return, when Jonah Ray came on as host for Netflix. That's the first time I've seen Mac and Me, and I probably watched that episode 2 or 3 times. I love Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's my favorite show of all time. So each one of those episodes, even the newer ones, I've at least seen like 2 or 3 times. Man, those older ones, like The Day the Earth Froze, Side Hackers, Monster a Go-Go, San Francisco International, Master Ninja 2. Man, I've seen those a lot. San Francisco International, Mystery Science Theater 3000. Look that one up. That is like my favorite episode of all time, I would say. It's either that one or The Beast of Yucca Flats. One of those two. Network would have won Best Picture other years, but a little movie called Rocky knocked it out. Yeah, when William Holden won he was the first one to win a award posthumously. That was the first time that happened. And then, of course, the second time was Heath Ledger. Yeah, Network, I think it might have won script or, Best Original Script, something like that. Yeah. Man, and talk about, like, unfair. Like, Cuckoo's Nest beat Jaws for Best Picture. I mean, Cuckoo's Nest is great. Beat Jaws? Fuck, man. Can we redo Academy Awards from the 1975 movies? Because Jaws is the better movie. Let's just be honest, you know? Let's be honest. The Lost Boys will forever be eternally cool. Yeah, that's a really great one. Yep. Mm-hmm. Little Monsters. That's an awesome one, Big Rod. I loved Little Monsters growing up. Howie Mandel, Fred Savage, Ben Savage, Daniel Stern. Love that movie. Watched it a lot. One of my buddies, Grady Treston, couldn't watch it because his parents watched it beforehand and they thought it was crap, to quote his mom. I don't think they liked all the mischievous behavior. Yes. The Last Dragon. I saw The Last Dragon in the theater as a kid. Oh, you have to copyright Jamie Hart on that one. She has to get all the credit. Fight the Good Fight is in the chat. What's happening? Fight the Good Fight says The Beastmaster. Ooh, that's a good one. Not one that I watched a lot growing up as a kid, but that one's fun. Is that Mark Singer in that one? I think so. Let's see what else we got going here. E.T. is another good one, and it was the debut of Drew Barrymore, who would give us an ironic opening in Scream 1. Yeah, you know, guys, I watched E.T. for the very first time last February. I did a video on the channel called I Finally Watched It. That movie came out the year I was born, and for whatever reason, I just never saw it. Really, really good. Heartbreaking. I mean, I didn't cry or anything, but I totally see why people would. If I watched it as a kid, I probably would have cried my eyes out. For sure. Never Been Kissed. There you go. Another Drew Barrymore. Raiders is Aaron Click's favorite. Fair enough. It's good. It's good. The fighting seems old-timey to me in that one. Seems a little clumsy. I just rewatched them last May, end of April, because I did a retrospective with Chris Snyder over on Movie Misfits Video. We did a live where we talked about those. Growing up movies, says Jamie Hart. Goonies, Outsiders, Little Darlings, Back to the Future, The Last Unicorn, Porky's, Top Gun, Footloose, Grease 1 and 2, Xanadu, Return to Oz, Indiana Jones, Star Wars. Those are all so great. Grew up on Porky's. Way to go. No wonder you like seeing boobs in movies, Jamie. People are going to hate me for saying this, but I think Temple of Doom is the best one. I get it. I totally get it. It's my second favorite. Yeah, I totally understand that one. It's got a little bit of that darkness going on. I think for me, it's the lady character, whatever her name is. I feel like she has a male name for some reason. She just kind of annoys the hell out of me. Whoever Steven Spielberg's wife was at the time, the character that she plays. Yeah. Let's see here. Who else? No Ticket. Yeah, good stuff. Yep, No Ticket and Silent Bob copied it years later. Yeah, good shit. Good shit. Let's see who else we got here. The Beastmaster had is rated PG with breasts. We all remember that scene. That's wild. I gotta check that out. Ace Ventura couldn't be made today. Well, yeah, there'd be all sorts of people freaking out. That much is for sure, Big Rod. People would be freaking out. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. Not something I saw as a kid, but chilling. I still need to watch that one. I'm like kind of scared to watch it. I've heard it's a really tough watch. Masters of the Universe. I watched that a couple times as a kid. Yeah. Jamie Hart's back with Pretty in Pink. Breakfast Club. Teen Wolf. I watched that one a lot. Nightmare on Elm Street. Evil Dead 2. Friday the 13th, etc., etc. Yeah. I need to see Cody's typos. Where are all your typos? Master of typos. We love your typos. Friends and Ace Ventura released the same year, so I think it was after Friends. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe they shot it before or something like that. I mean, no one knew who she was when the movie came out. Like, Friends wasn't like an established thing. I'm pretty sure of that. All the wanking is giving me carpal tunnel in my right wrist, says Jordan, so I'm killing it with typos nowadays. Oh, you just got to give yourself a stranger every now and then to keep it equal, Jordan. Have you never heard of that stranger? Just do a little reverse on the other hand. Come on. What do you need, a refresher course? Gavin says, yes, Jamie, The Breakfast Club was one of the biggest movies of my childhood. Hell yeah. Jamie sharing the Death Ray gear. Thank you so much, Jamie. Yeah, you guys can click on that if you want to grab a little something. I'm falling behind in the chat again. Terrible. Okay, so before I jump back into the chat, let's cover the last two that I've got here on the background. Hot Shots and Loaded Weapon 1. We got the two Estevez kids, even though, you know, Charlie Sheen uses Sheen and Martin Sheen uses Sheen. The real family name is actually Estevez. God, Hot Shots. I mean, if you love Top Gun, it's basically a parody of Top Gun. Cary Elwes is in there. He's really funny. John Cryer is in there, and him and, you know, Charlie Sheen would, you know, reconvene later on 2.5 Men, which I'm not a fan of, but I think it's cool that they were able to work together again. Of course, you have what's-her-face, the beautiful Italian actress. She was in, like, Clean Slate with Dana Carvey. She was in both Hot Shots movies. I can't think of her name right now off the top of my head. If somebody can check IMDb so I don't have to clickety-clack and type while I'm doing the stream. She is one of my first crushes. Absolutely gorgeous and so charming. Ooh, man. Back to my Gauza. Back to the movie. Calm down, baby. I just love that kind of like Abrams. I think it's Abrams and Pat Proft and like those guys that wrote those movies, Hot Shots, and I think they helped write, you know, Airplane and Naked Gun. Like they're all kind of worked on those. Hot Shots to me is just, you know, yet again another movie that I keep on enjoying. I really enjoy the sequel as well. The first one I do prefer, but it's just like the jokes just age so well. I could hear them. I could watch the movie once a year and not ever get tired of like knowing what's coming, just because the performances are so believable and so much damn fun. Hot Shots, if you've never seen it, I highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of Top Gun. I think it's a lot of fun. And Loaded Weapon 1, man, Samuel L. Jackson before he was like anybody. Like this is right before Pulp Fiction. Maybe it was the same year. I don't think so. Pulp Fiction 94? Maybe they were the same year. Maybe Loaded Weapon's 93. I think Loaded Weapon might have been 93. And I think Emilio's really funny here. Kathy Ireland is in this movie. Tim Curry is in the film. William Shatner's the villain and is just hamming it up. He's so great. There's some really awesome cameos by, you know, people like Dennis Leary, Dr. Joyce Brothers, Whoopi Goldberg, Phil Hartman, Corey Feldman. Like those people are all in this movie just peppered in. I can't remember the actor's name, but the guy that's the master of ceremonies of detention in the Breakfast Club is a federal agent that has just like one line. John Lovitz is in Loaded Weapon 1. I mean, Loaded Weapon 1, like pound for pound, maybe has like the most jokes of any movie I've ever seen. It's either that or like Caddyshack. Like how many jokes they fit in with such a succinct like amount of time. Just absolutely incredible. I love National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1. Guys, an absolute banger. If you've never seen it, correct that now. If you're a fan of comedies and you like parodies, of course they're making fun of Lethal Weapon, but there's also a whole bunch of other stuff worked in there as well. They make fun of the whole, I think it's Lethal Weapon 2, where there's like the bomb on the toilet. There's like a scene where Emilio like busts in while Samuel L. Jackson's on the toilet, and he's like, "What's wrong?" Samuel L. Jackson's like, "Nothing, just taking a shit." Super hilarious. There's a scene even with Bruce Willis where he's basically playing John McClane, like a helicopter like destroys his destroys like his trailer that's like on the beach, and they're like, "Is this 2715 West or Pacific Coast Lane?" And he's like, "No, this is 2016. 2015's 2 blocks that way." And they're like, "Sorry." And he's like, "No problem. No problem." It's hilarious. Anyways, I'll do that's enough of me just literally reciting lines and scenes from movies that I absolutely love. So that sort of wraps up what we've got as far as like all the stuff I have here around me. Of course, there are other movies I grew up watching that I'd just rather engage with you guys and see what else you guys have to say here. Mom and Dad Save the World. I think I've seen that one once. Yeah, that's William Shatner as well. Right? Who else? Bram Stoker's Dracula. I didn't see that until later on in my life, but that's a really, really good movie. Yeah. I need to do a John Lovitz marathon, revisit his brilliant catalog. He's so good in Loaded Weapon 1. Like, what can you tell us about microfilm? It's tiny. Used in a lot of Bond films. All right, Becker, this one's got your name written all over it. Speed Racer, certainly, yeah. If you grew up in the 2000s, growing up in the aughts. Detroit Rock City is another hilarious 90s comedy gem. Now, I think I saw that once when it came out when I was in high school. I need to revisit that one. I think I'd have a lot more fun with it now, for sure. And I probably watched it with like a big group of friends and like half paying attention kind of thing. Top Secret, another great one. Top Secret, Airplane, and Naked Gun are great satire. Make comedy great again. Absolutely. Yeah, guys, Scary Movie. I think the second one is the only one that I really enjoyed. I think I saw the first 3. I thought the first one was terrible. Epic movie, disaster movie, date movie, garbage, garbage, garbage. Not Another Teen Movie. Totally different production, totally different crew, writers, directors, all that stuff. It had a name like it was part of the other movies, but Not Another Teen Movie is the one great one out of that whole bunch from the late 90s, early 2000s, for sure. Ooh, The Gate and Fire in the Sky I watched a lot as a kid. That guy, Travis, what's his name? Travis, I can't remember his last name right now, but he lives just like a couple hours north of me. He's still up there where like all that went down. It's wild stuff, and his story has not changed. Dazed and Confused, SLC Punk, Dodgeball, Major Pain, Austin Powers, School of Rock, Robin Hood, Men in Tights, Tropic Thunder. Yeah, man. SLC Punk, again, a high school movie for me, but bought it on VHS like almost right away. Have it on DVD right now. I think it's coming up on its, I think this is its 25th anniversary, or was 25th anniversary last year, maybe. Love SLC Punk. Matthew Lillard's so good. Jason Segel before he was anybody. A lot of love that stuff. What's his face? Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore is in there as well. Christopher McDonald, I think is his name. Love him. Yeah. Dodgeball, a lot of fun. I think I was 20 or so when that came out. But man, Austin Powers, yes. Robin Hood Men in Tights. That's another favorite Mel Brooks movie of mine. Absolutely. Detroit Rock City is awesome. Have you ever seen The Craft with Neve Campbell? Yeah, I've seen that one a couple times. Watched it this last I think, either October or September. It might have been September to sort of like ease into spooky season. And then I had seen it a few years before. But I really enjoy that one. Yeah, The Craft is fun. All right. I was quoting Major Payne with my wife earlier today after we went and adopted a new dog. Was that directed by Nick Castle or something like that? Is that one of those that was directed by him? I feel like he directed one of those like bratty kid movies. Here. I'm gonna look it up. I'm going to look it up. Yep, Nick Castle directed that. I thought so. I had a feeling there. Isn't that wild? Like the movie, The Last Starfighter and Major Payne, and Nick Castle was working on Hook before it got taken away from him and handed off to Steven Spielberg. Like, it's so wild, like the trajectory of, his career had. Can't Hardly Wait, another fun teen movie. Yeah, I think that came out when I was like a senior. That's a really fun one. Oh, Clue. I fucking love Clue, says Gavin. Yeah. Didn't watch it a whole heck of a lot when I was a kid, but I remember renting it on VHS and they have all those endings at the end. And apparently, guys, when it was in the theater, depending on where you saw the movie, there was a different ending attached. So in the theater, they didn't run all the endings back to back to back to back. It just depended on where you went, which is kind of an awesome concept. Like, imagine if they did that now. Instead of selling a stupid fucking collector's popcorn bucket. I mean, if you like collecting them, that's cool. I just think it's just another way that they're trying to get us to buy plastic. What if they did that now? Where it was like, oh, wait, you're like talk to a friend and they're like, oh, and at the end when blah, 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 and you're like, no, the movie ended this way. And then you're like incentivized to go back and like find the theater. Like Harkins has this ending. AMC has this ending. Regal has the third ending. Like that would be wild. Absolutely wild. I think they should try that. I think that would be fun if they did that. Maybe they could redo The Last Jedi and do one that's like actually good and put it out to Harkins, which is the closest theater to me. That's why Harkins gets the shout. Let's see here. Big Lebowski. Yeah, that's an older movie for me too. Not something I grew up with. The ending that Jamie, I saw it in the theater, Hart, says is the one with Mrs. Peacock. How cool. Yeah, I missed Cape Fear because I was a kid. It was like one of those like, just seems like a bit too old or a bit too adult, for me at that time. That's what I hear. I need to check it out. I need to check it out again. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I know some people are fans of the movie, but I'm right there with you, Tyler. Right there with you. All right. Holy cow. Here we are at 2 hours. It is past midnight on the East Coast. That is wild. We've been kicking it for a while, guys. Never been more disappointed by a director. Oh, man, absolutely. Yeah. And it's a shame because he technically knows how to make a good movie from all the technical aspects are fine. It's the story is terrible. And also, like, the X-Wing, like, doing that kind of move is sort of weird. That's the one technical thing. But, I guess there's even more than that. And the beginning of that movie is like, it starts off on such a bad note. I'm going to have to talk. I know that, who was it? Was it Dylan from Splattercast that I'm going to bring on and we're going to talk about Star Wars? And I think he's a fan of The Last Jedi. So it'll be really fun to, hopefully I'm not wrong about that and it's not somebody else. I'd hate to be wrong and offend somebody by having Mandela effect ruin my memory here. But yeah, it'll be fun to just totally dive into and rip apart The Last Jedi because it deserves it. Yeah, I mean, the Star Wars movies too. I watched those so much. All 3 of the original movies when I was a kid. So, A New Hope or Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Those were huge to me as a kid. Again, a series of movies that just, it was like I knew them my whole life. I don't remember the first time I watched them because my brother Matt, my older brother Matt, who works in the entertainment industry as a 3D matte painter, that was a big part of his childhood. That was like the thing for him. And my dad had to like drive all the way to Connecticut or something to get the Millennium Falcon for him for Christmas when they lived in Bowie, Maryland. The things we do for love. So yeah, I mean, luckily for me, some of that stuff was just sort of built in to my experiences as a kid. Even though I was born just the year before Return of the Jedi came out in theaters, it was just something that I just knew. You know, like Darth Vader being Luke's father wasn't something that was ever spoiled for me. It was just something that I kind of knew. I keep on saying that, but absolutely, especially I think as a kid, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Even more so, were bigger, you know. The third act of Empire Strikes Back, I mean, the editing just within that third act is incredible. And all of the Luke Vader stuff is worth the price of admission alone. Like, you can talk shit about the Ewoks all you want, fine. The stuff between Luke and Vader is some of the best tension and drama and emotion in the entire Star Wars saga. All of the movies, I shit you not. Matt Deathray. Matt Conway. My given name is Conway. Yeah. I'm a good old Irish boy. Let's see here. Oh, we got Toronto Freddy jumping in right at the witching hour. Says, hey, bud, you ever get a chance to check out Haddonfield Radio? No, I need to check them out. They're on YouTube, right? Can I check them out on YouTube? Or do I have to do some sort of... I don't have Spotify. I got rid of it because I pay for YouTube Premium, so I get music through YouTube. Haddonfield Radio. Okay, there they are. Hey, they got a good subscriber count. Who are those other guys? They're like two brothers that do a Halloween podcast on YouTube, and for whatever reason, like I was seeing all their videos pop up in my feed, and then boom, nothing. And I'm just like, now I'm trying to like remember what the heck they were called, so I can look them up. I guess I should just sift through my the channels I'm subscribed to. But some of those channels, you're like, oh man, did they like suddenly stop doing their stuff, or what the hell happened here? Guys, I'm just going to refresh the GoFundMe here for Raymond. Let's see here. So we're still at $275. That's great. We're still past the original $200 goal. We're going to keep this rolling. And then, of course, there's going to be, a stream going on with Ken from Sledgehammer Horror, Brettman from Good Real Hunting, myself, and maybe some others. And it's going to be simulcast where we're going to push that QR code. Frank's Media and Review, or Movies and Reviews, is going to be on there as well. We'll push the QR code and the link for the GoFundMe, and hopefully we can raise some really good fundage for Raymond's, the burial and everything, and for the family. Quigley Down Under, that's a fun one. I like that. Yeah, Toronto Freddy, I will check out Haddonfield Radio when I hop off. I'm going to go play some Resident Evil 4 Remake, and I'll pop them on. Ooh, Camp Nowhere 1994. That's really fun too. Christopher Lloyd. I think I only saw it once or twice, but I got to revisit that one. Favorite Ernest movie? Either goes to Camp or Saves Christmas. I love Ernest Saves Christmas. I think it's super underrated, man. I think Ernest Saves Christmas is one of the best Christmas movies, like Christmas comedies. Really, really love it. And it's got a lot of heart. I also like Ernest Goes to Jail. Ernest Scared Stupid was really fun when I was a little kid, and I first saw it on like VHS. I don't know how well it would age. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Yeah, Jeff knows what's up. Absolutely. Halloween Lives. Yes, thank you so much, Brett. Did they stop doing their show, or what happened? I just like, where did they go? There they are. There. They only have 1.63 thousand subscribers. Wow. I like their long form podcasts. I do. I think they should have more subs than that. I like those guys. Shout out to those guys just for no reason other than I like their jive. Look through your history, you'll find it. Yeah. Oh, Brett's got me. Yep, there we go. Kevin Ketchy knows what's up. Perfect. Love seeing all that. Thank you so much for helping me out there, guys. Yeah, Toronto Freddy. Yes, rest in peace, Raymond. It's a really tough one for, of course, his family and for all of us. And we're gonna miss him, and he's gonna live on through the replays and the chats and the replays of all the lives he's been on across all the horror YouTube community. And we permanently made him, a channel member, at least on the channel member card. There's no way for me to like actually do that to his account, but he's going to be listed very first on every channel membership card here moving forward. Jeff says, I love how this community tries to lift each other up. I know I'll be missed by some of you all if I was to go. Yeah, and hopefully that doesn't happen until it's due time, and that's a long ways down the road, Jeff. You seem like a relatively young guy. Hopefully it's way, 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 way down the road. But yeah, you know, I think that's the legacy that you leave, man. It's not how much money you made. Not like, it's just not the worldly stuff. Like, the legacy you leave is like, you know, for you, Jeff, because you have your own channel, you know, your channel is going to be there. You're going to, you know, live in perpetuity as long as, you know, YouTube is something that exists. Those videos are going to be there for people to go to. And then not only that, it's like the way that we treat each other and how we remember each other. Like, that's a huge part of your legacy. There was so much more than like what pop culture and the commercial world wants us to think we are. So that's just something important to remember, I think. All right, guys. Ernest was the world's first viral character, if you think of it. Really? Yeah. Doing all those, like, I think Mountain Dew, Mellow Yellow, Sprite commercials, all that kind of stuff. He sold a whole bunch of, very, very funny. I love Ernest. I think Jim Varney was just a comedic genius, man. And another rest in peace. I think he went relatively young. I think he just might have been in his early 60s when he passed away. Loved him in the Beverly Hillbillies movie that they made. That was a lot of fun. And of course, the Ernest films. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. We're at just over 2 hours. I'm going to save a little in the tank for tomorrow. I'm going to be back at 5 p.m. Eastern, guys. We are going to watch and totally destroy with Mystery Science Theater style riffage Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Really looking forward to that one. I don't know. I've like wanted to watch this movie with you guys for a while. I put up the poll. It won almost 40% of the votes out of like 60 something votes, which is incredible. A resounding win for Jason Takes Manhattan. And I think it'll be a really easy movie for us to rip on and make fun of. And I need you guys in the chat to help me make all the jokes and all that kind of fun stuff. It's going to be, you know, even better the more of you can join. If Dean Renner's still in the chat, Dean, I hope that I pushed it up an hour from 4 p.m. last week to 3 p.m. 3 p.m. my time, from 6 to 5 your time, because even if you have to go to work, I want you to be able to enjoy that whole, episode of Davies Science Theater 3000 with the community here. And of course, we're going to continue that outpour of love to Raymond and his family. Guys, hit that QR code up, link in the pin in the chat or in the description below if you want to donate to the GoFundMe, or if you just want to share the GoFundMe on your Facebook or your Instagram or your Twitter, or if you have your own YouTube channel, like share it there. Just like, let's get the word out. Let's like blow his family away with how much love and support there is for Raymond and of course for them. So we're going to keep that rolling here through the weekend. We're going to have a really fun time. And guess what, guys? I got to watch Strange Darling and do a live review for you because you met the super chat goal. And real quick before we head out, I should close the poll, right? I used to be really, really bad at remembering that. So let's close the poll. 52 votes. 63% of people say the 80s had the best movies to grow up with. 17% say the 90s. 15% say the 70s, and just 4% say the aughts. Well, I know where the main age group is here with you guys. So I'm going to close that poll. Boom, the 80s win with 63% of the vote. And yeah, we got that super chat goal that was reached, so that'll be really fun to watch Strange Darling, and I'm looking forward to that one with you guys. And I want to go through the super chats here and thank everybody again. We got a 99-cent super sticker from Happy Sanjo, $4.99 from Dean Renner, $5 from Cody Snyder, $1.99 from Good Real Hunting, $1.99 from Leanna Bevy Rage, $2 from Cody Snyder, $2 from Cody Snyder, $2 from Cody Snyder, $2 from Cody Snyder, $1.99 from Leanna Bevy Rage, and $2 from Big Rod. And it certainly is a big rod. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Shout out to everyone that was kicking it in the chat. If you're watching after the fact, please leave a comment. Let me know what your favorite movies were
when you were growing up. I'm talking about childhood movies that you just could not stop renting and watching ad nauseum. Big shout out to the channel members, all 85 of them, our lovely Patreon members as well. All the subscribers. If you're new to the channel, just go ahead and throw us a sub. Poke around on the channel, see if it's your thing. If at whatever point you're like, then no harm, no foul. You can always unsub, but why don't you throw us a sub? Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any streams or anything like that. Shout out to my Death Squad mods. I think tonight we had Cody Snyder, Leanna Bevy Rage, and Jamie Hart hanging out. Ooh, and Brett from Goodwill Hunting jumped in. He is a mod as well. Who else am I missing? Ooh, don't forget to slash that like button. Hit subscribe. Share the channel with somebody that you think would enjoy this kind of content. And 99 cents a month at the very least gets you into that channel membership. Also, guys, just relaunched the merch page. New gear, new lines of merch. DM me if there's something that you want to see that's not on there already. If you use the discount code EARLYBIRD, all one word, all capitals, at the end of the checkout, you get 10% off. Heck of a deal. Yes, Big Rod, Toronto Freddy. We talked about UHF. I did not put the poster up on here. I don't know how I missed that one, but that's probably the comedy movie I watched the most when I was growing up. But let me know in the comments below. That really helps push the stream and help the algorithm give us all the goods. So that'll be it for me tonight, but I'll be back 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. We will watch and make fun of Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes a Boat. And until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.